There's a portion of the BruceTrail that runs for about a 6-kilometer stretch between 6th Line and Highway 25 in North Milton. And up until now, I thought that there was no way to access the main trail in the middle, but I found out there was, and that is by an old trail that runs off of Dublin Line. So we're going to look at that. I'll show you some photographs of how that went, and I'll explain a little more about the history of the trail, and also explain to you how I took a wrong turn. So all that's coming up next. In 3, 2, 1. There we are, just starting the hike now. We're going to go join the trail right beyond that sign. There's the first part of the trail heading up. Another look at it, and now you start moving parallel to the golf course, and so some trees have grown over top of the trail, but again, you can see on the right the golf course is right there. Quite a bit of overgrowth. Look at the golf course again, and there you can see the golf course clubhouses. You're only like 3 meters away from the edge of the golf course, and then you're start to do a little bit of a climb. Parts of the trail look here somewhat wide, and other parts are really quite rocky and treed and so on, but we made our way through. Look out at the at Toronto from there, actually. And then the climb starts to go, and you can see it in this part of the road or the trail. It looks like it was actually a road at one point in time, and that's my speculation. I'm not sure yet, but it just appears that maybe 50 years ago it was a road. Trees have fallen down an awful lot. A guy I met that lived on Dublin Line, we got chatting away up in the trail, and he was saying that most of these trees fell over the trail in the last few years. So look up at the top of the escarpment, not that far up, probably only 50 meters or so at this point in time. And there, see, the trail is quite distinct and looks like it's well traveled, and not so damaged. Now we're almost getting to the top, and there's a look from nearly the top. And there we are at the top. A couple of things you can see. There's the white blaze on the tree for the BruceTrail, and the sign about information. So it's this is looking north. We come to the top of the trail. It seems like this trail was perhaps a road at one point in time, but that trail continues north, and I think goes all through the forest and way further north in a straight line. So let me go back one slide here. So there we're looking north, but to the left is the continuation of the trail heading west towards the Dublin aggregate bridge, and that's a look at that right there. So here's another look a little further on the trail easternly, north, in the north direction. So that's a very significant intersection. but as you can see, it's quite an evident spot once you look for it. It's the only trail that leads in this 5-kilometer section the way off the to go south off of the trail. So we continued a little ways along the trail on this day. It's a pretty nice piece of trail. It is on the right on the edge of the escarpment. We're overlooking the golf course and so on. Way off in the distance, so you can see the water tower for Meadowville, Streetsville area. So a nice little rocky trail to walk along here. I came to this stream, and that's where we ended. So on the return trip, I turned the stopwatch on. It appears that it was just over 33 minutes to go back. So this is a look at the BruceTrail map. In the section that runs between Guelph or 6th line on the in the bottom, which is off the face of the map, and up to near Highway 25. It's a long stretch, about 6 kilometers, and includes a Dufferin Quarry Bridge. I have another YouTube video on that trail. It's a long stretch, and I thought it was kind of unusual that you couldn't access that very excellent part of the trail anywhere in the middle, but I did some research and found out that in reality you can access a trail right in the middle by driving to the end of Dublin Line, which is shown from the bottom right hand corner going to the middle left. So the red line up through the middle of the page going from bottom to top is the BruceTrail. I've drawn a yellow line in there, and that is the Dublin side trail that is not marked, and as I'll explain later on in this video, it appears to me that Dublin Line used to run a lot further north and join the Dublin Line that is in fact a real road quite a bit north of this. So today's hike is to document exactly the side trail and how to access it, and go join the main trail. So this is an interesting addition to my video. Wanted to tell you that it's very easy to take the wrong trail. I tried this to find the trail up to the top of the escarpment a few days earlier, and had a bit of a problem. So I'm going to show you where the problem is. We started the trail just like we did, and moving along, it all looked the same till we got the edge of the golf course. About here we took a wrong turn, and I'll deal with that at the end. Headed up that path, and then it got really difficult to climb, and we kept going. My hound dog seemed to be better at it than me, but the growth was crazy, and my feet were getting tangled up in this brush, and we kept going. Some parts were a little easier, but I thought something doesn't seem right. But eventually we got as high as we could, and we ran into that stone wall. So up next is the crossroads where we went wrong. So this is an aerial view of the Dublin Line exit shown, or the dead end for Dublin Line showed in the bottom right hand corner. So the main trail is shown from with a big bold white line running from the bottom middle of the page to the top, and the red line is the access trail that I was successful at reaching the top and joining the main trail. But the yellow line shows the mistake I made a couple of days earlier when I turned left too soon and wandered into the overgrown brush and eventually ended up against the stone wall. So you don't want to do that. So to remember to stay on the proper line, you need to run parallel to the golf course, and I mean very close to it, with an eye shot for about 15 minutes. So this is a look at the BruceTrail map. We're looking at the trail that runs across the escarpment edge between 6th Line and Highway 25. It's a long stretch. I've hiked that area a few times and couldn't find an access other than near 25 on St. Helena Road and at the golf course on 6th Line. So I'm going to draw for you right now over top of let's use an orange crayon. This is Dublin Line, goes right here, and then it dead ends. Strangely enough, there is a trail that leads up to the top of the escarpment, and I'll draw that on yellow now for you if I can. And it basically goes on a line like that. So that's kind of interesting. But I realized today when I was climbing that the Dublin Line used to be a trail, or maybe at one time a very narrow road, because the remnants of it are still there. And I'm going to take a pen now. Let's see, what color can I use this time? Kind of a pink. And there seems to be a trail that runs in a straight line and continues on north and eventually becomes Dublin Line, the existing road. So that's what I discovered from my observations on the last couple of hikes.